Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to our meeting. I'm going to call this meeting to order. I need an approval of the agenda, please.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank
Approval
you.
of the agenda.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All opposed. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
Aye.
Thank you. That's
Aye.
a good thing. Let's rise and say the Pledge to Allegiance. Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Let's stay standing. Oops. Let's stay standing for a moment of silence, please. Thank you. You may be seated. The purpose of this meeting, as you well know, is for the selection of the superintendent. And that is our action agenda. Before we take action on electing the next superintendent, I want to say a few words about the process. Our search for the new superintendent started after Dr. Tony Baldwin announced his retirement in July of this year. Dr. Baldwin has been superintendent for over 13 years and has been in this district for over 30 years and has almost 40 years of service in education. While we honor Dr. Baldwin at a later date, I do want to thank him for his service and commitment to education and to Buncombe County schools. I want to thank him for the honor and the privilege of working with him closely. It's a great pleasure. As many of you have heard me say, there's an old Methodist hymn that says, "In every end there is a beginning," and that's where we are. Since Dr. Baldwin's announcement, the board has worked toward finding the best person to lead Buncombe County schools. Let me just say, we have worked toward finding this person. The board has spent many hours over the last several months engaged in this process. We reviewed surveys completed by our employees, by our parents, and by our community members. We've assessed the many qualified applicant profiles. We've interviewed applicants, and finally, we selected our candidate. I want to thank my fellow board members for the time, the energy, and the dedication that they've put into this process. It hasn't been easy. This is one of the most important decisions a board makes. And I believe this has been a successful process because of your efforts. I want to thank all the employees, parents, and members of our community that provided feedback to us. Your feedback was invaluable as we went through this process. With that said, I have a motion. I move the Board of Education elect Dr. Rob Jackson as the next superintendent of Buncombe County Schools. Do I have a second?
Madam Chair, I'd be proud to second that motion.
Thank you. Is there discussion? Go ahead.
About the motion, or, well, I just would like to add the process. I'm the old one.
Let me just tell you, he's an old boy from Georgia.
Old country boy from Georgia, but I've had the opportunity to do this twice. And while I think it is the most important thing any Board of Education does, because it sets the direction and the game plan, if you will, for what this system has done and what it will continue to do for our kids in our public schools. And the people that are in this room today, along with the folks who are here with you in spirit that couldn't be here tonight, understand that. And we as a board appreciate what you folks do daily with your feet on the ground and working in those schools. But it's our job, and an important one, to hire that leader to lead this system. Our process was extensive. It was intense. Some might say it moved quickly. I would disagree with that, because our third graders this year get one shot at being a third grader. One shot. And we needed to do this as expeditiously as we could and as well as we could. And I applaud this board, because I believe we've done that in our next superintendent. So it's been enjoyable to be a part of the process. Like I said, I've done this twice. I won't do it again. But it's been an enjoyable process, and I thank all the board members for all of the different inputs and the different thoughts that went into this process to this point.
I would like to echo what Pat said. I think this was an incredibly intense process for all of us. The good thing is that we live in a place where a lot of people want to be. So we're all blessed to be here in Buncombe County, and the number of applicants that we had, very, very highly qualified applicants that we had apply for the position, was slightly overwhelming. And I think we're allowed to speak to how many applicants we had, right? So we had 19 total applicants apply that were very qualified, and we really, took the time to go through that, and we had a few rounds of interviews with several applicants, and I think that we're all feeling really, really good about the process and about the decision that we have made.
Madam Chair, I'm just going to say ditto
Okay.
to both of them. I think they've both spoken eloquently to
Yeah.
how I feel.
Yeah. I want to let you know that Peggy Buchanan is not here. She's suffering from COVID, but she has joined us via phone. And Dr. Jackson, I'll let you know that we have that technology in Buncombe County, and so you can put that to rest.
We do have landlines in Buncombe County.
I'd like for Dr. Jackson to stand and meet our group.
Do we need to,
Do we need to
do
vote
we need to
first?
vote
Not yet.
first? Okay.
Well, now you know what he looks like. All right. Dr. Jackson is here with us tonight. As I just recognized him, he brought his wife, Renee. He also is accompanied by his two sons, his mother and stepfather. They almost fill the front row. So this is a great opportunity for us. I want to share a little bit about Dr. Jackson's background. Dr. Jackson is a native of Buncombe County. He grew up here and attended school in Swannanoa. His family moved to Florida when he entered high school, but after high school and a few years in the United States Navy, he returned back home to Buncombe County. He started working for Buncombe County as a classified employee while he put himself through AB Tech and Western Carolina University to become a teacher. He worked as a data manager and summer custodian at Charles C. Bell Elementary School before becoming a teacher at Glen Arden. From Buncombe County, he moved to Gaston County and then Union County to serve as a school administrator. Dr. Jackson had the unique honor as serving as the inaugural principal for two different schools in Union County. In 2011, he was named Wells Fargo North Carolina Principal of the Year, and he was also named Principal of the Year by the North Carolina Principals and Assistant Principals Association. After serving as Director of Communications in Union County, he was named the Superintendent of Eden-Chewan Public Schools, a position he served in for 6 years. This has been a busy man. In 2020, he was named to his current position as Superintendent of Carteret County. Since becoming superintendent, Dr. Jackson has had the honor of receiving the Dr. Sam Houston Superintendent Leadership Award and the Dr. Brad Sneeden Superintendent Leadership Award. He was also awarded Superintendent of the Year by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. Do I need to say that again? He's very involved in athletics. While there are many other accolades that I could list, I would be remiss if I didn't mention something more. Dr. Jackson is passionate about students, and he's a champion of school employees. His background gives him great insight into the diligent work of all of our employees and the work that they perform on the behalf of our students every day. He genuinely cares about what others think, and once he starts in this role, he will spend a significant amount of time listening to students, to employees, and to other stakeholders. I know this board looks forward for him to start this work. Are there any board members who would like to make any additional comments? This is a rarity that we have a mute board. I just want you to know. If there are no further comments, then I believe it's time to vote. All in favor of the motion to elect Dr. Jackson as the next superintendent of Buncombe County Schools signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, nay? Hearing none, welcome. We are glad to have you. On behalf of this board, it's with great enthusiasm that I welcome Dr. Jackson back home. Home. I told his mother, not what Thomas Wolfe said, but that he can come home and be back as our next superintendent in Buncombe County Schools. We look forward to your time here, and we look forward to the positive impact that you will have on our students, our employees, and our community. Let's welcome. All right, Dr. Jackson, we're going to give you the podium. You can't take it back with you, but you can use it tonight.
Maybe the nicest one I've stood. Madam Chair, members of the board, thank you so much for the honor and the opportunity to come back home to the school system that I absolutely love and holds the center of my heart. You see, I vividly remember getting off the bus at Swannanoa School and our principal, Mr. Williams, greeting us, everyone by name, and patting us on the back and encouraging us to have a good day. And I remember vividly walking into classrooms to sit in front of teachers who loved us with all that they were and are, who pushed us to levels of success that perhaps we could not have dreamed possible in ourselves. Later, I had the opportunity to serve as a SIMS secretary, a data manager, and a summer custodian, and I discovered among the employees of Buncombe County Schools a true focus on collaboration, a true value in every single person who exists to serve children and families in the community. Later still, when I had the opportunity to approach the door of my first classroom as a teacher and I saw my name, it was a moment of awe as the responsibility washed over me as I thought about my teachers in this school system who poured so much into me and made possible so many things in my lives, and quite frankly didn't change the trajectory just of one student, but indeed of an entire family. That's the history and the core of Buncombe County Schools. And so it is an incredible honor to rejoin this incredible family, this incredible team, and I just want to say thank you to the members of the Board of Education. I'd like to pause for just a second and honor and recognize one of my heroes in education. You see, 8.5 years ago, when I walked into my first meeting as a superintendent, a state superintendent's meeting, I walked in feeling a little bit intimidated, that feeling of, do I really belong here? And as I walked into that room with 114 other superintendents, I saw a big, huge smile, that smile. And I saw two smiling eyes, and I watched as Dr. Baldwin jumped up from his seat and walked across the room and threw out his hand and welcomed me with warm words of encouragement. Dr. Baldwin, I thank you on behalf of my sons who can testify to your work and your love and your dedication. And I thank you for your service to this school system. It's a big, awe-inspiring thing to think about sitting in a chair that you sat in, but I promise you to do my best in that chair. I appreciate you introducing my family because they're so very important to me, and if I might, I want to introduce them again because they are my world. First, I'd like to, and sweetheart, if you would stand up because they made everybody look at me, so it'll be better. This is my best friend, my muse as it is, my wife Renee, who is a former exceptional children's teacher and a former health and PE teacher.
We might have Job here.
Law says we could do that, right, Mr.
That's
Shaw?
exactly right.
I don't know if we could talk her back into that hard work, but we'll try together.
If she has free time, we can take care of it.
Done. Principals might be fighting over another EC teacher. I certainly understand. I also have with me my sons, starting with, we have 4 beautiful children. 2 couldn't be with us tonight because of travel and distance, unfortunately. Our oldest son, Dennis, is a physical therapist in Columbia, South Carolina, and had to see patients today, and he sends his regrets, but I look forward to introducing you to him. Our daughter, Madeline, is in a PhD program at Texas A&M and doing well there, and we certainly look forward to her being here as well. But let me introduce you to Joshua, or JJ, as many in this room know him. Jay, if you'll stand up. Joshua is a proud graduate of A.C. Reynolds High School and a graduate of Auburn University. I have the pleasure of watching him on TV and listening to him on the radio as a sports broadcaster doing play-by-play. You see, he had a dream at A.C. Reynolds High School, and they let him do the morning announcements. And he said, Daddy, I want to be a sports broadcaster, and I spent my life telling students, if you work hard, you can be successful. And I'll tell you, when he said he wanted to be a sports broadcaster, I told him, well, Applebee's will be a good place to be. He learned at Fairview Elementary and Cane Creek Middle School and A.C. Reynolds High School, and is absolutely living his dream thanks to Buncombe County Schools and the foundation he received here. Next to him is our youngest son, Elijah, if you'll stand up, or Eli as he's known. Elijah graduated from A.C. Reynolds High School as well and went on to graduate from the University of Tennessee with a degree in marketing and business analytics, and is doing amazingly well in the field of logistics. He also is living great success. And I mention my teachers at Swannanoa because they also have a part in the success of my children. That's the work we do when we have the opportunity to serve families, to make a difference, to open them up to what is possible. And I'm so very proud of our children. I'd like to introduce you to my sister, Cindy. Cindy, if you'll stand up. Cindy graduated from A.C. Reynolds High School. Cindy's the director of nursing, does amazing things. She's the smart one in our family, and I'm so very proud of my sister, Cindy. And she would tell you that her success and the care that she gives her patients comes from what she experienced in this school system. I want to introduce you to my greatest hero, herself a graduate of A.C. Reynolds High School. My mama, Susan, and my stepdad, Gary. Mama loved us through school, and when the teachers pushed us hard, she said, it'll be okay. You just do anything they tell you. And she was the kind of mama who didn't care what I had to say about it. If the teacher said it, that must have been right. And so, Dr. Baldwin, there was more than one time when I was in trouble at school and at home for being in trouble at school. Again, I just want to thank you, board members, and to the incredible men and women who do this amazing work. Your work is shown in the success of our students, the academic success, the artistic success, the athletic success of the young men and women, the boys and girls of Buncombe County. And in this moment, I'll say one final thing that will make many of you very sad, some of you happy, because I know he's done such a great job. I can't be Dr. Tony Baldwin, but I will do my very best to serve each and every one of you and every single person who serves in this school system as you serve this community's greatest resource, the children of Buncombe County. Thank you so very much for this honor. I look forward to serving with you. Thank you.
Any board members have oh my goodness, Cindy's going to comment.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Judy.
All righty. As the newest board member, although I'm the newest board member, I have been a native here of Asheville, North Carolina, and a product of Buncombe County Schools. I cannot tell you how proud I am to have been a part of this whole process. It was interesting, to say the least. I've never had the opportunity to do a job exactly like this or fill a role like this, but I can't think of one that's any more important than the impact that you're going to be having on the students, the parents, and the teachers of our system. I'm really proud of the process that we had in place and the cohesiveness of this board. We took it very, very seriously from the get-go. We read with diligence every resume that was submitted. We listened very attentively to all the interview questions and responses. We gleaned all of the surveys that were submitted by parents and other community leaders and made sure that we tried to incorporate all those responses as we moved forward. Buncombe County, as all of you know here, has a reputation in the whole state of North Carolina and in western North Carolina. So we wanted to make sure we continued that legacy. I believe we found the man to do exactly that. I love Tony Baldwin with all my heart. He and his family have been heroes to a lot of us in this room. His mother being a teacher, his sister and I worked together in education as well. But I told him, I said, we want to do you proud because we know you've worked hard to get us where we are. And I hope we've done that, Dr. Baldwin. Welcome to you and your family.
Cindy?
So I just want to echo what Mr. Bryant has said in terms of our responsibility as a board, and that hiring a superintendent is the most important responsibility of any Board of Education. And I feel like we've done a good job here. So I'd just like to share a little bit about what I've learned in this process. And so what I've learned about Dr. Jackson is that first and foremost, he wants every child to succeed. He said that to us over and over and over, that is his number one priority, is for every child in Buncombe County to succeed. I was impressed also by the fact that he has loved Buncombe County schools since he was in elementary school, and getting on that bus and feeling loved himself, and the extent to which he has emphasized that this is home for him, and he loves the school system and our kids. He's had obviously a very successful career in education from when he was right there in the Reynolds District in Bell Elementary School as a school secretary and the custodian there, all the way through being a teacher, principal, custodian, quite a career. I've also observed, not by asking questions, but by observing with my eyes, that Dr. Jackson is a white, straight, cisgender male. English is his first language. He walks and runs, amazingly, without assistance. And every experience he has ever had in his life, in his career, is informed by the privilege of being part of those powerful categories. I'll say them again. White, straight, cisgender, male, first language is English, and without any apparent handicaps. And I want to go back to the very first thing I said about Dr. Jackson. What he wants is for every child in this school system to succeed. It's the right goal. I share that goal. And to accomplish it, Buncombe County Schools will need to recognize that not every child in this school system has the same privilege that Dr. Jackson has and that I have in my life, with many of those same characteristics. But leadership also is not a one-man job. It takes all of us in this community, in this room, in this school system, to have strong leadership and for this to be the successful school system that it is. It takes all of us. Those of us who have those privileges and those of us who don't. And those of us who do have those privileges, it is incumbent upon us, every single one of us, to listen to and honor the experience of those who do not have those privileges. So as I step away from this board in the next couple of months, again, I'm very proud of the choice we have made here today. And I will continue to be a member of this community, and I will continue to support this board and this community in supporting Dr. Jackson in making sure that every child succeeds. Thank you very much.
I will just say that I think y'all have heard me say a time or two in the last decade that I've been on the board that I have one child who I love with all my heart. And she's, pretty special, and she's a graduate of Buncombe County Schools, and she is going to NC State, so go Wolfpack, Dr. Baldwin. Didn't even consider Carolina. So I'd say that to say, though, that I have often said that while I have one child, that when I came on the board, I felt like I had taken on, at that time, 25,000 children. And that really meant a lot to me. And I always looked at it as I wasn't making decisions just for my child. And I did my best to not make decisions that would benefit only my child, but that I tried to look at the big picture. And I learned a lot. I've learned quite a bit. It's really interesting how your thoughts and experiences change when you sit on a board of education. And I have enjoyed it very much. I have very much enjoyed it with Tony, even though he's not Wolfpack. But, I look forward to being able to work with Dr. Jackson. And I know that, we're going to continue to do amazing things here in Buncombe County. And I wanted to just welcome all of y'all into the community. And so I will tell you this too, when I first came on, I can't remember, I think it was just Tony, but it might have been Pat too, but they asked me which team I was for. I made the mistake of saying I didn't follow basketball, because you don't say that in North Carolina. So, so anyway, I'm just going to ask you. Who's your favorite basketball team?
I really want to say I love them all and sit back down. But in the state of North Carolina, you're born into a family, and the family has a loyalty, and with all apologies to my friend and my board member,
That's all right. We knew we'd find a flaw.
Say something. Pat? Okay, I just have to say that we're very happy to have Rob Jackson, and as you can tell, I have a little bit of a turn of a personality, and there's too much dadgum green on that row right there to come from Reynolds High School, and I just want to clarify.
Madam Chair, I hate to interrupt you, but it's just the right amount of green.
We have 5 other districts in this county, and they each have their own colors. So we will remedy that, and I'm sure the administrators in this room could remedy it quickly. Thank you. That being said, after we adjourn this meeting, I would like to invite you to come I'm not real sure what Mr. Burleson's doing, but I think he's misbehaving. Okay. After we adjourn this meeting, I would invite you, including Mr. Burleson, to go to the Bowcatcher Room and have cookies and punch and get to meet Dr. Jackson and his family. So if there are no further items to come before this board, I would welcome a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Could I get a second?
Second.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you very much.